Peace and blessings, beautiful people, and welcome to another video. Today I'll be showing you how I make my sweet potato and lentil patties with onion, bell pepper, and garlic. It's a recipe that's super versatile that can go with almost anything, including by itself. And here I have it with a side of stir-fry vegetables, avocado, and 2 slabs of sourdough bread and hummus. Yes, and I hope you enjoy it. The first thing you'll need to do is rinse and wash about 2 cups of lentils, putting that into a pot with 3 cups of water, putting it on high for about 15 to 20 minutes, and adding in about a 4th teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt or sea salt. Getting a green bell pepper, slicing that in half, and making a V right where the stem is, slicing that into rectangles and dicing it finely. Moving on to the onion, slicing that in half, peeling back the skin, and making small little rectangles down the middle and dicing that finely as well. And with the garlic, you're going to be smashing about 5 garlic cloves on a hard surface and dicing that finely. The sweet potato, ultimately your goal is to dice it into small squares so that it'll all take a smaller amount of time to cook while it's boiling in water. And once you have your sauteed vegetables, you're going to be adding in about a drip or a drop of grapeseed oil and adding in your aromatics, which include your garlic and your onion as well as the green bell pepper, and putting that on high and stirring occasionally until it turns brown. And if you feel like it's sticking to the pan, add a little water to deglaze it. And once you're done with that, the lentils should be cooked by the time you're done sauteing your vegetables. And then you're going to be adding both in a small bowl alongside turmeric, ground cinnamon, pink Himalayan salt or sea salt, cayenne pepper, smoked paprika, ground cumin, thyme, and basil. So you're going to be also adding in the seasonings, which include about a 4th teaspoon of ground cumin. I don't really measure spices, to be honest with you. Adding in also about a 4th teaspoon of cayenne pepper, depending on how hot you like your food. Adding in about an 1/8 teaspoon of smoked paprika, as well as maybe a 4th teaspoon of salt, as well as a sprinkle of basil and thyme, mixing that all together until it's well combined. And setting aside. So for your sweet potatoes, you're going to be gathering about 3 cups of water and adding in your sweet potatoes on boil for 15 to 20 minutes or until it's mushed and tender. And then you're going to be straining the hot water and adding in your sweet potatoes into a bowl and smashing it until it is smushed. Leaving the skins. I love the skins. If you don't like the skins, cut them off when you are chopping your sweet potatoes. And so we're adding in the sweet potatoes, sauteed vegetables, and lentils back into the small bowl and mixing until everything is well combined. And if you feel like it needs extra seasonings, by all means. I felt like it didn't need any, so I'm moving on to my flour, which is about a 1/4 cup of spelt flour. If you have all-purpose flour, by all means use that. And add enough just so that it sticks to the bottom of your spoon and it's not releasing. And this is totally optional, but I'm gonna be adding about maybe a 4th cup of onion, diced onion, as well as some more garlic cloves because I wasn't feeling so good that day. Moving on to your sweet potato patties, adding in a ball of the sweet potato mixture in a spoon and putting that onto a cast iron skillet on high with some grapeseed oil, smashing it down. And for this pan, I added in about 4 because that is how much the pan could fit. If your pan is smaller, by all means do 2 or 1 at a time. It's totally depending on the size of your pan. And we're going to be cooking that until one side of the patty is brown and it's no longer sticking to the pan. Going back to the sauteed vegetables, we're going to be stirring it around until it's nice and brown. And with the sweet potato patties, they were nice and brown and not sticking to the pan, so I'm turning over, or my mom is turning over them. And with the sauteed vegetables, I'm adding in my kale way late way late into the game, because the kale doesn't take too long to cook, and you don't want the kale's nutrients to be leaving the kale for too long as it's cooking. So usually about 5 minutes when you're just about to be done. And tossing that around with some salt to taste, some ground cumin, thyme, and basil. And mixing that until everything is well combined. This is what it looks like. And once everything is nice and ready, we're gonna be putting in our sauteed vegetables first. I got pretty hungry that day, and so I added in about 4 of the patties in the bowl, as well as 2 sourdough breads. If you cannot have bread or anything like that, then by all means omit it. But like I said, I was feeling kind of hungry, so I added in 2. And also we're going to be splitting in half an avocado and dicing it. I actually love mustard. And putting that into the bowl as well. And so for the hummus, I added it to my bread and it was super delicious. Definitely 10 out of 10 would recommend. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Peace and blessings. Bye.